Life moves fast, and so should the answers to your biggest questions. Welcome to Endo Batteries Quick Connect, your direct line to expert insights. Short, powerful, and right to the point. You send in the questions, I bring in the experts, and in just 5 minutes, you get the knowledge you need. No long episodes, no extra time needed. And just remember, expert opinions shared here are for general information and not for personalized medical advice. Always consult your provider for your case-specific guidance. Got a question? Send it in, and let's quickly get you the answers. I'm your host, Alana, and it's time to connect. Today, I'm joined by Kody, who is a writer, advocate, wife, and mom who has spent the last decade navigating life with chronic illness, alongside love, parenting, and all the messy realities in between. After her health dramatically changed early in her relationship, Kody and her partner faced challenges that tested everything they thought they knew about marriage, resilience, and partnership. Through honesty, humor, and a whole lot of lived experience, Kody shares what chronic illness has taught her about relationships, self-worth, and survival. Not the polished version, but the real one. Join me in welcoming Kody Adamson to the table. How do you navigate this as a wife, as a mother? Because humor is great and it's a really good medicine, but it doesn't solve all your problems. And you have a lot that comes to you. And if you're anything like me, there's a lot of mom guilt. There's a lot of wife guilt. There's a lot of I don't want to say shame. I don't have shame behind my body, but there's anger. There's sadness, that you're feeling like you're missing out. How have you navigated that?
Well, still with humor. I told my husband to divorce me today. And he knew I was joking. I was just like, just divorce me already. I haven't been able to do the dishes in days. And I just feel really bad. Anyways, just been laying in bed, honestly, for 4 days now.
Yeah.
And so, but I mean, underneath the humor, where I get the most tender is with my kids.
Mm.
Like, my husband's a grown man. He can take it. There have been moments though where he isn't taking it well, and we have to really regroup and reconnect. With my kids though, they're experiencing life through such a different lens than all of their friends. And I think they're just now approaching the age where they know it's different. And I was actually just talking to my husband about this morning, is that there's another gal that I follow. She's got 2 very young kids, like a toddler and an infant. And she has this moment where she's having a seizure and the little toddler's just like walking around her like, da, 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 this is what mom does. Mm-hmm. And my kids used to be that way. But now when I have a seizure, they cry. And they don't know what to do. And so honestly, our biggest focus is making sure that our kids feel connected to us. It was tempting, and at times still is, for me to push them all away. Because if they have less of me, maybe I won't hurt them as much, is kind of like the silly mentality behind that. But instead, that was just doing more damage. And so now, when I'm having bad days, I try to hold them a little bit more, even if it's just in my bed, or I ask them to bring me something that they're working on. Like, bring it to mommy. I want to see it. Show me your Legos. Show me what you're coloring, just so that they really feel like, maybe when mommy's not well, this is special mommy time. They're still so young. They're 7 and 4. So I can't really ask them, do you feel better when we hang out and look at your Legos? I don't know. But giving what I can when I can is pretty much the only option I've got.
Right.
And I just hope and pray that in the end, arguably they're going to have trauma, and I hope that therapist does well in the future for them. But I hope that it's at least sweetened with little memories of, my mom spent a lot of time in bed, but then we got to watch movies together. We got to snuggle. We got to play Legos. I don't know. It's really tricky to navigate because it is a very emotional thing for them. And in fact, we're about to sign my 7-year-old up for therapy just because he's having an emotional reaction sometimes that we just don't know how to handle.
Yeah.
And so we're just using what tools we can. With my husband, he's done his own therapy bouts with it, because there's just times where he can't come to me to express how upset he is, because arguably it's upsetting for me to hear it. And so that's been a very useful tool. But I know that like overall, I think being really transparent, we say that word a lot. Let's be transparent right now. Like, how are you feeling? How are you doing mentally? With my husband, the transparency, we even for a while there did what we call a transparency journal, where it was getting really hard for us to talk about how hard things were without getting emotional. And so we would write out all of our thoughts of like whatever. And then we'd hand it to the other person, and we had a rule that they had to answer it in 48 hours. And so they got to sit down with these thoughts, these emotions when they were ready for it, and then express their thoughts and emotions kind of without the odds of like anybody interrupting it, anybody saying they're wrong.
Right.
And that actually was really healing for a phase in our marriage where we were really struggling to feel connected. So it takes work.
Yeah.
It unfortunately, if you're chronically ill, you're working really hard just for what a lot of people would take for granted.
Yeah.
But for me, it makes the reward of those relationships so much richer. I love my kids and I love my husband because we've taken that time to pour that love into those relationships.
That's a wrap for this Quick Connect. I hope today's insights helped you move forward with more clarity and confidence. Do you have more questions? Keep them coming. Send them in, and I'll bring you the expert answers. You can send them in by using the link in the top of the description of this podcast episode, or by emailing contact@indobattery.com or visiting the indobattery.com contact page. Until next time, keep feeling empowered through knowledge.